Well, hello. I wanted to talk about the Victorinox Compact. This is an extremely popular knife and quite a divisive knife as well, I think. And I just can't make my mind up whether I personally love it or hate it. I wanted to know what you guys think about this knife. It's a lovely slim 2-layer knife and it weighs 2.3 ounces, or let's call it 65 grams. So it's nice and, as its name suggests, compact, and does pack some useful tools for EDC. And I kind of see this knife as a pocket tool to carry when you really have nothing in particular in mind. I think it's alright for that. You get the large main blade, under 3 inches, non-lock-in, so perfectly legal in most countries. Fairly soft but easy to sharpen and corrosion resistant steel. You get the combo tool with the wire stripper notch and wire bender, can opener, bottle opener, flathead driver and pour, but workable in a pinch if you turn it on an angle. Phillips Driver there. Undeniably fantastic large Victorinox scissors. Included toothpick, tweezers, pressurized pen and the small eyeglasses screwdriver and the pin. So all those little extra items are already included on this knife, which is a really nice touch. I've also got the corkscrew and the multi-purpose hook, which does have a file on the back. I pop a little magnet in there as well for extra utility. So those tools are alright. Nice and useful tools. The blade and the scissors, definitely very useful. The multi-purpose hook, a very unique tool. I really don't use that all this often, but for any tasks that require hooking, pulling, then this can come in useful. I have used this for pulling tent pegs, for tensioning springs. Not something I use very often. And honestly, I'd much rather have the Victorinox awl that you do find on many other Victorinox models. Useful for drilling holes. You can use it for emergency field repairs because it's got a sewing eye in it. Makes it an excellent ferro rod striker. And a general thick, sturdy, scrapey blade. That's a much more useful tool for me than the hook. The corkscrew I really don't mind having. I am not a fan of the backside Phillips screwdriver because of its position. It's really difficult to use in practice. You can bend the liners using the backside Phillips screwdriver and it's just not very good. Phillips screwdriver should be inline to be useful, as on something like the Explorer. This is a wonderful inline Phillips driver. So the corkscrew is useful for opening corked wine, obviously. Nice to be the hero at your dinner party when no one else has got one, right? Is useful for undoing knots and is useful for storing the eyeglasses screwdriver or like the fire starter and tinder kits. The other tool on here that is a compromise is the combo tool. Great idea in theory. Works fine as a bottle opener, works fine as a can opener as well, but it's a little bit thin and flimsy to be used for anything but the most light duty of either screwdrivering or prying tasks. Definitely versus the separate opener layer on many other Swiss Army knives. Much sturdier tools, especially this. Makes it quite a decent little very light duty pry bar compared to the extremely thin combo tool. I do still think this is a useful tool. It serves several purposes in one tiny compact tool. It just slots behind the blade, thus freeing up a ton of space. But anything even looking slightly more heavy duty, this just isn't going to be enough. Like I say, it's alright to have it in your pocket, to have something there with a few tools to help you out. But then, is the climber a better option? Same size. The climber is a 3-layer knife, so just a couple of millimeters thicker. Has all the same tools as the compact. So on the back you get the corkscrew, multi-purpose hook, but you also get the great awl in there. In the climber you get the large main blade. You also get a small secondary blade. You do still get the excellent Victorinox scissors. And then you do get the separate opener layer. And whilst this does take up an entire layer versus the knife blade and combo tool layer on the compact, these are just so much more sturdy and useful in practice. You don't get the pen, the eyeglasses screwdriver and the pin included as standard if you buy a climber, so you do have to shell out and buy those as extra and buy plus scales if you want the pen in there. Just have a look again. I'm getting the compact at 64 grams, that climber at 85 grams. So the climber's just a little bit of a bigger knife. Does pack more utility. If I'm carrying one of these, I'm always a bit torn which one to use. If I'm going to be doing anything DIY or actual tasky, I'll always probably choose the climber or something else over the compact. Or something like the Sportsman. which is an 84mm knife. I really like this size because it's that much smaller in your hand and pocket. A 2-layer knife, the Sportsman is, so again the same sort of size, definitely same width as the Compact. With the Sportsman you get a main blade, the opener layer, and a really useful file tool. With this, they call it nail cleaning end, but this can be used for really small Phillips screws and things. So I like this tool. No scissors on the Sportsman, but you get the screwdriver and the awl, which, yeah, I'll take the awl over the hook anytime. So this is a great knife, the Sportsman. Don't get the scissors. And I don't know, for a lot of people that seems to be the deal breaker, but you have got a nice blade on there that you can use. Which to take. One very big lacking omission from all these so far is a dedicated inline Phillips screwdriver. That combo tool just does not cut the mustard as a Phillips driver at all. On other Swiss Army knives, i.e. the ones with a separate opener layer, the tip of the can opener makes a pretty decent Phillips driver. Or you have to upgrade to something like the Explorer, which is a 4-layer knife, to get this fantastic 3D Phillips driver on there. And one of the other debates I quite often have with myself when I'm deciding what I'm going to carry is, well, you know, what does this Compact give me really that the Manager or Rambler doesn't? The Rambler or Manager have all these ace tools. A little blade, fine for opening packaging, a fantastic Phillips driver, bottle opener, file, very small flathead driver, scissors. You can also carry the toothpick or the tweezers if you're carrying a Manager, because that has a pressurized pen on the back scale, which is much better to use than this flimsy little pen that comes with the Compact. So the Manager does pretty much everything that a Compact can. Not such a big blade, so not as versatile for food prep and things. You don't have a corkscrew on the Manager or Rambler. You don't get the hook, and you don't get a way to open cans on the Rambler or Manager. But I'll much more often carry the Manager than the Compact. So I don't know. I just can't decide whether I love the Compact or hate it. I've used this knife a lot. I've took it on holiday. It was my one and only holiday knife on a couple of occasions and did absolutely fine, but I was on holiday. I wasn't needing to be DIYing or putting up shelves, disassembling wall units or anything like that. So this was fine. It does tend to be more expensive than many other Swiss Army knives, considering it's a much more limited tool set, where you do get the added extras included. Especially in America, I've heard a lot of people saying this is like 60 odd bucks. In the UK, you can pick up something like a Climber for around 20 odd quid. So just wanting to get some feedback from you guys. Is the Compact the best kind of urban EDC knife? Really small, really compact. And I do like it, and I've got several of these, and I do carry them. But what do you think? Is it an overpriced compromise? And do you carry something else, or is this your number one? I'd love to get some feedback, because I just can't make my mind up. I'll go onto this knife and I'll carry it for a couple of weeks or something and think, yeah, it's fine, it's just all I need. Then I'll just go right off it going, well, it's just not that great. I'll carry something like the Climber or the Explorer or a Sportsman or a Manager or or any number of other Swiss Army knives I've got. So yeah, I can never seem to decide whether I absolutely love this one or not. So let me know what you guys think. If you want to chat about it, that would be great. Auf Wiedersehen!